In today's episode, you'll discover who was the man who created everything first in his mind, yet came to America with only 4 cents to change the world. Edison called him mad, but he was writing the code of the future, the code of light. Why was free energy so dangerous? Whose interests did Tesla threaten? And why was his great tower never completed? Today, you'll hear the thunder hidden in silence, the story of Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla was born in July 1856 in the village of Smiljan to a priest father and an inventive mother. From early childhood, he stood out with an extraordinary memory and imagination. He memorized books and turned toys into mechanisms. The tragic death of his brother left a deep mark on his soul and intensified his sense of solitude. At night, he would watch lightning, trying to understand the language of light. For him, nature was alive, as if the universe itself was breathing. Every flash of light became an idea in his mind. At a young age, Tesla realized that energy was not merely power, it was life itself. His childhood forged the first sparks of a mind that would one day illuminate the entire world.
Learning and discovery.
At school, Tesla excelled in mathematics and physics. Teachers described his calculations as beyond human precision. He entered the Austrian Technical University, where he began contemplating the idea of alternating current. He built everything first in his mind, then brought it to reality. For Tesla, there was no physical lab. His laboratory was within his own brain. He was fascinated by mechanical perfection and already felt that his life's purpose would be to eliminate energy loss in transmission. In 1879, he lost his father, replacing grief with creativity. He couldn't complete his formal education, but his ideas grew larger than any curriculum. He spent days in libraries. Volta, Faraday, and Maxwell became his spiritual mentors. His habit of working day and night began there. Young Tesla believed in both science and intuition, two forces that would later define all his discoveries.
Paris and America.
Tesla began working in Paris for the Continental Edison Company, developing electrical motors. His knowledge impressed his superiors, yet he sought a deeper layer within the system. The concept of the rotating magnetic field took shape during this time. He famously drew the diagram of his idea in the sand. Few in Europe believed in him. So, in 1884, he set out for America with just 4 cents in his pocket. New York was both a promise and a test. His first job was at Thomas Edison's company, but soon disagreements arose. Edison defended direct current, while Tesla championed alternating current. It was both a technological and moral conflict. Tesla worked for science, Edison for profit. Tensions grew, and they parted ways. But that separation marked the true beginning of Tesla's story.
War of currents.
Between 1887 and 1893, history witnessed what became known as the War of Currents. It was an open ideological battle between Edison and Tesla. Edison staged public demonstrations to portray alternating current as dangerous. Tesla, in contrast, passed electricity through his own body to prove its safety. It was both a scientific and ethical duel. Tesla defended his vision with faith in science, while Edison relied on fear and marketing. The Westinghouse Company sided with Tesla, changing the course of the war. In 1893, the Chicago World's Fair was powered by alternating current. A monumental victory. Tesla lit a bulb wirelessly, holding it in his hand. The world saw wireless electricity for the first time. Yet, triumph brought no financial security. Tesla's goal was to serve humanity, not business. In a capitalist world, that conviction made him a lonely man.
Induction miracle.
One of the brightest moments in Tesla's life was the realization of the rotating magnetic field. He saw this invention not only as a technical achievement, but as an aesthetic harmony. His thoughts turned into motion. In 1888, he patented the induction motor and soon joined Westinghouse. The three-phase system became the main note in Tesla's technological symphony. Electricity could now travel long distances efficiently and with minimal loss. Factories, homes, and cities entered a new age, the age of Tesla. Yet behind this triumph was a silent tragedy. Tesla was too idealistic to grasp the commercial value of his patents. To save Westinghouse's struggling company, he voluntarily tore up his contract, giving up millions in royalties. "Let the money become light for future generations," he said. For him, the future mattered more than the present. Each motor was a prayer, each coil a silence. In his lab, light and magnetism merged into one rhythm. The current didn't just flow through wires, it flowed through his veins. It was the moment when the human mind connected with the universe. Tesla's vision wasn't just about transmitting energy, it was about understanding its spiritual essence.
Science on stage.
Tesla's New York laboratory was both a scientific center and a theater stage. He crafted his demonstrations like works of art. He didn't present science through fear, but through beauty and awe. At night, lightning flashed through his lab, and blue sparks filled the air. He passed high-voltage current through his body, lighting bulbs with his hands. People thought it was magic, but it was simply poetry written in physics. His performances became events, covered by journalists and admired by scientists alike. Every experiment carried a message. The universe isn't frightening, it's just misunderstood. He orchestrated each demonstration like a symphony. Every light beam was a symbol, every electrical hum a note. Yet behind the brilliance stood a weary, solitary man. He worked days without rest, his hands scarred by burns, which he called the medals of science. Investors saw only spectacle. Tesla saw revelation. "I love electricity," he said, "because it is life itself."
The silent tower.
Tesla's most ambitious and tragic project was the Wardenclyffe Tower. Through it, he dreamed of transmitting energy wirelessly across the globe. The tower was not just metal, it was his soul reaching for the sky. He believed the Earth itself was a giant battery. "We must learn to tap its pulse," he said. In 1901, J.P. Morgan financed the project, aiming for wireless communication, not free energy. Tesla secretly altered the design to realize his dream of universal, limitless power. When Morgan learned of this, funding stopped. "Free energy means the end of capitalism," Morgan declared. The tower was abandoned before completion. But Tesla's dream didn't die. At night, he tested wireless transmission alone. Some witnesses claimed to see lamps glowing miles away, powered by nothing but air. It was humanity's first glimpse of pain-free energy. Yet the media branded him a mad scientist. Tesla left the tower, but not his faith. "One day," he whispered, "the world will understand." Lightning flashed outside, as if the universe answered back.
Lonely genius.
Tesla's life was a constant struggle with rivals and misunderstanding. Edison, Westinghouse, Marconi, all competed in the same field. But Tesla's true opponent was human limitation. He was too far ahead of his time. When Marconi announced the invention of the radio, Tesla smiled quietly. "He uses 17 of my patents," he said. Yet he didn't sue. Only after his death did the U.S. Supreme Court recognize Tesla as the true inventor of radio. But by then, fame no longer mattered. Tesla sought truth, not titles. To him, science's value lay in its benefit to humanity, not applause. The press called him either a lunatic or a prophet. He didn't care. He only listened to the voice of the universe. In his later years, he filled notebooks with equations, some rumored to describe his death ray. He ignored gossip. "When you understand the rhythm of the cosmos," he said, "you become part of it."
Electric poetry.
For Tesla, science was art made of sound, color, and emotion. Every current in his lab had its own melody. "Each atom hides a symphony," he said. "We've simply forgotten how to listen." His inventions were both functional and beautiful. Coils became the brushstrokes of an invisible painter. The path of light he called a poetic vector. Every experiment was a performance. He saw the human body itself as a circuit, a network of impulses and resonances forming a grand harmony. His notes mention the synchronization between the human organism and Earth's magnetic field, a concept far ahead of its time. Tesla called his lab a thinking organism. Technology, he believed, was nature continuing its evolution. "If you study nature with love," he said, "she will reveal her secrets."
Forgotten years.
By the 1920s, Tesla had faded from public attention. Technology became industrial. Science, commercial. He was a relic of a romantic age. He lost his patents and laboratories, retreating to a small hotel room that became his final home and workshop. Every morning he followed the same ritual, writing notes, feeding pigeons. One white dove, in particular, he called his soul companion. "That bird loves me," he said, "and I love her." Our energy is one society found this strange, but Tesla no longer lived by its rules.
Silent light.
In January 1943, in room 3327 of the New Yorker Hotel, Tesla died alone at the age of 87. The door was locked from the inside. His desk was covered with unfinished equations, the ink still wet. Shortly after his death, the U.S. government seized his papers, officially for national security. Many of those files remained classified for decades. Some believed they contained blueprints for the death ray. Others dismissed it as myth. But one truth remains. When Tesla died, the future lost its most brilliant inhabitant. His funeral was modest, yet the lamps in his room glowed faintly, as if refusing to let his light fade. Friends and rivals alike admitted it. Tesla had lived ahead of his time. After his death, his silence ignited a new revolution of thought.
Timeless legacy.
Today, Nikola Tesla's name lives at the heart of modern technology. Every motor, every bulb, every signal bears his touch. Without him, the modern world would be unimaginable. He believed energy had no boundaries, and that humanity was part of a greater cosmic order. His life proves that genius is not only intelligence, but also the courage to be alone. He was the man who heard thunder in silence. He earned no fortune, but gave the world light. For him, science was faith, and energy was prayer. This film tells his story not just with facts, but with feeling. Because Tesla's life cannot be measured by numbers. He walked ahead of time, yet never reached the world he dreamed of. Still, he left us a universal language, the language of light. And that light still speaks, in every lamp, every current, every star.
Thank you for watching our video. If you want to learn interesting and shocking facts about Alain Delon, watch our next video.